7 things a man should not do with women. Avoid desperation, the pitfall of emotional dependency. Desperation in men, often manifested as a relentless need for romantic acceptance or constant reassurance from a woman, is not only a turn-off, but a clear signal of deep-seated insecurity. This kind of behavior can feel suffocating and is usually perceived as a lack of self-worth and autonomy. Women are generally attracted to confidence and self-assuredness in a partner, not someone who needs to be emotionally babysat. When a man leans heavily on desperation, it implies he values the relationship not for mutual happiness and growth, but as a crutch for his insecurities. This desperation often leads men to compromise their values and self-respect in the hope of gaining affection or approval, which, in the eyes of many women, strips away any aura of strength or reliability they might otherwise perceive in their partner. Furthermore, desperation can manifest in behaviors such as incessantly checking in, over-analyzing every interaction for signs of approval, and an inability to handle any form of rejection or criticism without collapsing emotionally. Such actions are not only unattractive, but also signal a serious lack of emotional resilience and maturity, qualities that are critical in a healthy, balanced relationship. A hardcore truth about desperation is that it often breeds more rejection, creating a vicious cycle of neediness and dissatisfaction. A desperate man throws himself at the mercy of someone else's approval, effectively placing his self-esteem in the hands of another, which is an unfair burden to the other person. Women typically do not want to be put on a pedestal as the sole provider of emotional stability or happiness for someone else. They seek a partner who stands strong with or beside them, not one who clings to them at the risk of drowning both in a sea of emotional instability. So, men should focus on building their self-esteem independently, cultivating a life that they are proud of and passionate about, which in turn makes them more emotionally attractive and less prone to the pitfalls of desperation. This isn't just about making themselves more appealing to women. It's about becoming better, more stable individuals who can contribute positively to any relationship they enter. Don't beg for affection or validation, the mark of emotional insecurity. Begging for affection or validation is not only a major deterrent in any relationship, but it also highlights a crippling dependency on external approval. This behavior portrays a man as emotionally needy and can rapidly erode the respect and attraction that are foundational in any romantic partnership. When a man constantly seeks affirmation of love, commitment, or attraction, it puts undue pressure on the woman to shore up his ego and emotional well-being, turning the relationship into a one-sided emotional labor that's exhausting and unsustainable. This relentless pursuit for validation can manifest as incessantly questioning a partner's feelings. Do you really love me? Seeking compliments, or needing constant reassurance about one's worth in the relationship. Such actions are not just annoying, they fundamentally disrupt the natural balance of give and take that healthy relationships thrive on. They can make a woman feel like she's more of a therapist or a cheerleader than a partner. From a hardcore perspective, men need to grasp that a relationship is not an emotional charity ward where one partner feeds off the validation of the other. Instead, it's a mutual exchange of respect, love, and support. By begging for affection, a man effectively turns himself into an emotional parasite, draining the relationship of its spontaneity, joy, and, ultimately, its love. Men who exhibit these behaviors need to confront the reasons behind their emotional dependency, often rooted in low self-esteem or past relational traumas. It is essential for them to engage in self-improvement, perhaps through therapy, self-reflection, or pursuing personal passions, to develop a stronger sense of self-worth that is independent of their romantic relationships. Women appreciate men who are secure in themselves and their value. They respect men who can manage their emotional health and who approach relationships as an addition to their already complete lives, not as a means to fill a void. This self-sufficiency is inherently attractive and forms the basis of a strong, balanced relationship where both partners can thrive without the burden of one having to constantly lift the other. Stop chasing excessively. The fine line between persistence and harassment. Chasing a woman excessively is a clear indication that a man lacks the insight or respect to recognize when his advances are unwelcome. This behavior not only showcases poor judgment, but also a disregard for the woman's feelings and autonomy. Persistence turns into harassment when it crosses the boundary of mutual interest and consent, transforming what might be perceived as romantic determination into an oppressive and unsettling ordeal. From a hardcore perspective, excessive chasing demonstrates a predatory behavior where the man becomes more focused on the conquest rather than the content of the relationship itself. It reflects a selfish desire to win or possess, rather than a genuine interest in building a mutually satisfying and respectful partnership. Women are not targets or trophies to be won. They are individuals with their own will, preferences, and the right to choose who they want to engage with, romantically or otherwise. This overbearing approach can include bombarding her with messages, showing up uninvited at places she frequents, or refusing to accept rejection. Such behaviors are not only disrespectful, but can also be frightening and threatening, severely damaging any potential for a future relationship, and more critically, can lead to legal consequences. Men need to understand that no amount of chasing will create genuine feelings of love or attraction if they are not already present. Instead, they should focus on building a connection based on respect, mutual interest, and consent. If a woman is interested, her actions will confirm it. If she is not, no amount of persuasion can or should sway her. The hardcore truth is that a man who cannot accept a woman's disinterest exhibits not just a lack of respect for her, but a profound disrespect for himself and his own worth. Being rejected is part of life, and handling it with dignity is crucial. Men should strive to be secure enough in themselves to walk away gracefully when it's clear their feelings are not reciprocated. This not only preserves their dignity, but also respects the woman's choice, setting a foundation for healthier future interactions, whether platonic or romantic. Refrain from over-texting or over-calling. Respect her space and time. Over-texting or over-calling is a behavior that can quickly transition from being attentive to becoming invasive. When a man incessantly floods a woman's phone with messages or calls, it signals a lack of respect for her personal space and her other commitments. This can create pressure and discomfort, making the woman feel as if she is under surveillance rather than being cared for. From a hardcore perspective, over-texting or over-calling is essentially marking territory in an inappropriate and often suffocating way. It screams insecurity and possessiveness, which are the antitheses of the confidence and cool-headedness that are typically found attractive. Women value their independence and autonomy just as men do, and being bombarded by constant communication is more likely to push them away than draw them closer. This excessive need to be in constant contact can also signal deeper issues of trust and control. It may suggest that the man is trying to monitor her activities or keep tabs on her interactions with others, which is not only unhealthy but downright disrespectful. Trust and personal freedom are crucial components of any strong relationship, and violating these principles can lead to serious relationship problems or even its end. Men should aim to communicate thoughtfully and with consideration for her time and life. This includes understanding when to send a message, how often, and gauging how she feels about the frequency and content of interactions. Relationships thrive on quality communication, not quantity. A few meaningful, well-timed messages are far more effective than a barrage of texts that serve no purpose other than to fill silence. The hardcore truth here is, if you respect her time and space, she will likely respect and value the time you spend together much more. Men must learn that being relentless in communication does not forge a stronger bond. It builds a prison of words that can suffocate any budding relationship. Instead, focus on building an understanding and respect for each other's space, which is fundamental for any healthy and long-lasting connection. Don't play the jealousy game, toxic tactics that backfire. Playing the jealousy game, where a man attempts to make a woman feel jealous by flirting with others or showcasing interest in other women, is a strategy that is not only immature, but also highly detrimental to any relationship. This behavior stems from manipulation and insecurity, intending to provoke a reaction rather than foster genuine affection or trust. From a hardcore perspective, engaging in such tactics is a clear demonstration of disrespect and distrust. It undermines the very foundation of the relationship, showing a lack of genuine commitment and care. Women are not pawns in emotional games. They are partners in a shared journey of mutual respect and love. Attempting to induce jealousy is a tactic that screams insecurity and a desperate need for control and validation. This manipulative behavior can lead to a toxic cycle of retaliation, mistrust, and emotional instability within the relationship. Rather than bringing a couple closer, it drives a wedge between them as it fosters resentment and emotional distance. Trust, once broken in such a way, is hard to rebuild and can doom the relationship to failure. Men should focus on building security within themselves and their relationships through open and honest communication, rather than resorting to games that test a partner's feelings. The hardcore truth is that if you feel the need to play games to keep someone interested, it's likely that the relationship is already standing on shaky ground. Real strength and confidence come from being able to express feelings openly and from creating an environment where both partners feel safe and valued, not threatened or insecure. Men must understand that the most attractive quality is authenticity, coupled with the ability to foster trust and security within a relationship, not the dubious skill of manipulating emotions. Avoid making everything about physical appearance. Look beyond the surface. Focusing primarily on a woman's physical appearance and frequently commenting on it can reduce her to an object rather than a person with depth and intellect. While it's natural to appreciate physical beauty, overemphasizing it can make a woman feel that her value is solely based on her looks rather than her character, intelligence, or talents. From a hardcore perspective, this behavior can reflect shallow intentions and a superficial understanding of relationships. It signals that a man may be more interested in a woman's exterior than in developing a deep and meaningful connection. Women want to be valued for who they are as a whole, their mind, spirit, and personality. Reducing them to just their appearance can be demeaning and dismissive of their accomplishments and individuality. Such an approach not only limits the potential depth of the relationship, but also can lead to feelings of insecurity and inadequacy in a woman, as she may feel the need to maintain a certain physical standard to keep her partner's interest. This is an unhealthy foundation for any relationship built on the precarious ground of appearance rather than the more substantial layers of personal connection. Men should strive to acknowledge and appreciate all aspects of a woman's being, compliment her intelligence, her kindness, her sense of humor, and her achievements, show interest in her thoughts, her feelings, and her life experiences. By doing so, you demonstrate that your attraction is rooted in genuine respect and admiration for her as a complete person, not just an appreciation of her physical attributes. The hardcore truth is, focusing solely on physical appearance is not just superficial. It's a sign of immaturity in understanding human relationships. Mature, meaningful relationships are built on mutual respect, shared values, and emotional connections that go far beyond the superficial. It's crucial for men to elevate their perspective and engage with women at a deeper, more respectful level. Don't be overly possessive or controlling. Cultivate trust and independence. Being overly possessive or controlling in a relationship signals a deep-seated insecurity and a lack of trust. This behavior can manifest as demanding to know where she is at all times, whom she is with, or insisting on making decisions for her. Such attitudes can suffocate a woman, making her feel as if her independence and personal agency are being undermined. From a hardcore perspective, this possessive behavior is not just a red flag. It's a glaring flare signaling distrust and disrespect. Relationships are partnerships, not ownerships. Women are not property to be controlled or monitored. This kind of behavior can lead to a toxic environment where the woman feels trapped and anxiety-ridden, potentially leading to serious mental health issues and the eventual breakdown of the relationship. Trust is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It involves believing in each other's ability to make decisions and respecting each other's independence. Men who display controlling behaviors need to address their insecurities and learn to trust their partners. This includes understanding that each partner needs space to grow individually for the relationship to thrive collectively. Men should encourage their partners to pursue their own interests, friendships, and careers. This not only shows respect and trust, but also enriches the relationship, as each partner brings new experiences and perspectives. True strength in a relationship comes from mutual support and freedom, not from restrictions and domination. The hardcore truth here is that a controlling and possessive attitude can drive a woman away faster than any other negative behavior. It reflects a lack of confidence and an inability to handle a relationship of equals. Men must work on building their self-esteem and trust in their partners to foster a healthy, balanced, and fulfilling relationship.